The Land of Triangles. Kevin McFadden leaned forward in his deck chair. Anxiety showed on his sunburnt, freckled face. If Tracy hadn't caught that 20-pounder yesterday, it wouldn't be so but bad, he complained to his friend Jason in a low voice. Now I'm the only one who hasn't caught anything. Yeah, too bad a girl had to beat you, agreed Jason. The boys sat silently for a time, gazing at the long, low swells of the Atlantic Ocean. They were on the high deck of the 26-foot cruiser, Partners All. A gust of breeze ruffled Kevin's sun-bleached, white-blonde hair, but had no effect on Jason's shorter cut. "Oh, well, you're sure to catch something today," said Jason, as he stood and stretched his well-muscled, tan body. "I'm going down to see if breakfast is ready." Kevin watched with open admiration as Jason started down the ladder. Jason excelled at everything and was good-looking too. At 13, he was already 5.5 feet tall. Kevin was 2 months older than his friend, but nearly a foot shorter and good at nothing. He couldn't even catch a stupid fish. He wouldn't have minded so much if he hadn't seen his father's disappointment. Kevin was always disappointing his father. His dad wanted him to be good at sports, but since he was small for his age and didn't even like sports very much, he'd never been good at anything. And then there was this trip. Right from the beginning, Kevin had been scared. He was only a little nervous about going out into the ocean, but why did they have to choose this location? There had been books written about all the ships and people who vanished in the Bermuda Triangle, and nobody had ever figured out why it happened. "Why tempt fate?" Kevin kept saying, but none of them paid any attention. In fact, his dad sounded really disgusted with him when he told him to leave it alone. "I'm not cooking breakfast because I'm a girl," Tracy shouted from below. "It happens to be my turn. And since tomorrow is your turn, Jason, you'd better not look so darn smug." Those two were arguing again. Kevin had to agree with Jason that the trip would have been more fun without Tracy. At least the rest of them wouldn't have to listen to the brother and sister bickering all day. To Kevin, who was an only child, it seemed a ridiculous pastime. He knew it annoyed his father, too, but Mr. Wilson was used to it and hardly seemed to notice. Well, since he couldn't avoid his father all day, he might as well sort out the fishing gear. As Kevin rose from the chair, a wave splashed up the side of the boat and made it rock. He heard his father, who was at the outside wheel on the stern deck, give a startled grunt. Despite Kevin's worries about fishing in the Bermuda Triangle, the ocean had been calm for the last 3 days. Nothing unusual had happened since they left Daytona Beach and headed east, skirting the northern edge of the Bahama Islands. Now, as Kevin grabbed the back of the deck chair to steady himself, he looked in surprise at the heavy seas. "That's strange," he muttered. They were in the center of a patch of ocean about 1/2 mile in radius that was building heavy waves. But beyond that, the water was still a flat calm. Kevin scooted down the ladder to his father. "What's going on, Dad?" he shouted. His father's face was grim as he battled the wheel. "Don't know, but you better ask Dave to call in for a weather forecast. If we're going to get much of this, we'll have to head in." But have you looked? Do as I say, Kevin, now." A finger of fear curled around Kevin's heart. Even his dad was frightened. Grabbing the cabin door, he flung it open, and as he did, the boat gave a lurch and Kevin went flying half over the port side. His father left the wheel spinning and was beside him in an instant. As strong hands pulled Kevin to safety, the boat seemed to jump, and Kevin's dad was in the water. "Man overboard!" called Mr. Wilson, who had just come up on deck to see what all the fuss was about. "Throw him a line," he shouted to Kevin as he cut the speed and turned back. Before Kevin could move, Tracy, whom he hadn't even seen come up, sent a donut lifesaver sailing over the stern. "Who went over?" asked Jason as he came through the cabin door, life jacket in hand. Then all four stopped talking and clung to anything they could grab as the cruiser pounded up and down, shaken from side to side as though the storm were a terrier with a rat in its mouth. The boat would surely be pounded to pieces if this kept up. Then the bows slammed down so hard that they all lost their grip and were knocked to the deck. Kevin seemed hardly to land before he was flung upward again into the air. Up he went, and still farther up. When am I going to start down, he wondered, and opened his eyes to a moving darkness. Now and then a thread of light flashed by, accompanied by a pinging sound. What? Oh no!